This man kept swimming in the ocean for 3 days and 3 nights after a plane crash. Just when he was about to lose hope, he saw an island in the distance. He quickly took his boat and reached the shore. But the island was completely deserted. There was no sign of any human life. He kept shouting, but there was no response. Then he made a large help sign on the beach using his foot so that planes flying above could see it. After that, he used his boat to build a temporary shelter on the beach. Exhausted, he decided he would plan more tomorrow. But at night, just as he was about to sleep, he heard a strange sound from the jungle. He immediately became alert, grabbed the paddle of the boat, and stayed awake the entire night in fear. The next morning, he saw that the waves had erased the help signal he had made. So, he gathered some dry sticks and made a new, larger help sign at a higher, safer spot on the beach. Just then, some courier packages floated ashore. Tom picked them all up, thinking they might be useful. Suddenly, the strange jungle sound returned. He shouted loudly, but again no response. This time, he mustered the courage and walked towards the jungle. As he moved forward, something fell near him and startled him. It was a coconut. He gathered more coconuts since he hadn't eaten or drunk anything all day. He tried breaking the coconut by smashing it on a rock, but it was tough. The coconut didn't break. Then he tried another rock, but that rock broke instead. Finally, he used the broken rock to slice the coconut open. After several attempts, the coconut broke, but it had very little water. Eventually, he learned to make a small hole in the coconut using the stone. He lifted the coconut to his mouth and happily drank its sweet water. After drinking, he made a small bag and took a stick to start exploring the surroundings, hoping to find help. He walked from morning till evening but only found another courier package. Nothing else. In the end, he felt like he had come back to where he started. He decided to climb to the top of the hill to see if it was truly a lonely island. During the climb, he cut his leg on a rock and bled heavily. He tore a piece of his pants and made a bandage, stuffed some herbs into his socks, and tied them to both legs. After an hour of climbing, he reached the top and saw water all around, no sign of land anywhere. His heart sank. But then he noticed someone swimming far out in the ocean. He rushed down and swam out to reach the person. It was the plane's pilot. But the pilot was already dead. Tom dragged the pilot back to the beach. He found a working torch with him, removed the pilot's shoes, which were small but he modified them to fit, and found a wallet containing a photo of the pilot's family. Seeing the picture, Tom became emotional. Such a happy family would never be complete again. He decided to bury the pilot on the beach and placed the family photo beside him. He carved the pilot's name and age onto a reef using a stone. By the time all this was done, evening had fallen. That night, lying in the shelter, he felt very lonely and sad. But his wife's photo gave him strength. Days passed, but no help came. Slowly, he started adjusting to island life. Every morning, he drank water from dew collected on leaves. He used coconut shells to store water. For the bathroom, he dug holes in the sand and covered them to avoid smell. When hungry, he tried fishing. But sometimes, even after great effort, he caught nothing. One sleepless night, he went for a walk on the beach and saw a light in the ocean. He immediately realized it was a ship's light. Excited, he shouted loudly, but there was no response. He started waving his torch frantically to get the ship's attention, but in the vast ocean, his tiny light was barely visible. Hoping to be rescued, he took out his small boat, made a temporary cap using his underwear's elastic band, and got in to paddle toward the ship. He gave it his all, but large waves blocked his way. Even after paddling from morning till afternoon, he had only managed to go 100 meters. Still, he didn't give up. He kept paddling until a huge wave overturned his boat. Unfortunately, his leg struck a rock, and he screamed in pain. Injured, he dragged himself and the boat back to the island. As if this wasn't enough, a storm hit, and heavy rain started. He quickly covered the courier packages with the boat. With no proper shelter and an injured leg, he crawled to a cave nearby. Using the torchlight, he checked the surroundings and, finding it safe, went inside. Luckily, there was a spring. Extremely thirsty, he bent down to drink. The water was dirty, but his thirst made him drink it. He drank so much he fell asleep there, forgetting to turn off the torch. The next morning, the torch was dead, and his leg infection had worsened. If left untreated, his leg would be lost. He began opening the courier packages. The first had skating shoes with useful blades. The second had a volleyball. The third contained a women's skirt, but the black netting seemed useful. Other packages had cassette tapes and useless contract papers. The last package had an angel wings symbol. He took it as a sign of hope and kept it safely. He used cardboard to make a bed. Using the blades from the skate shoes, he cut cloth and tied it with shoelaces to bandage his wound. The skates also helped break coconuts and cut wood. He even caught a big crab. Starving for days, he was overjoyed. But eating it raw was hard. Using the skirt's netting, he made a fishing net and caught a small fish. While eating it raw, he realized the taste was unpleasant. So, he tried rubbing wood together to make fire. He used paper as fuel and kept trying. Exhausted, he took a break and ate a coconut. While eating, he got an idea to rub coconut shells back and forth for more friction. It worked, but it cut his hand. Another injury. He was fighting to survive every day. In frustration, he shouted, kicked, and threw the volleyball. After releasing his emotions, he calmed down, bandaged his hand, and thought of new ways to make fire. The volleyball now had his bloody handprint. He gave it a face and named it Wilson, making it his friend. With Wilson, he felt motivated again. He tried harder. Sparks finally appeared. He realized the fire was dying due to wind. So he dug a hole, placed wood inside, blew air through his mouth, and finally, a fire lit up. He was overjoyed. That night, he lit a large fire on the beach to send a rescue signal. He now had hope. He roasted seafood and, for the first time in days, ate cooked food. He talked to Wilson daily, poured his heart out, and drew his wife's photo on a rock to give himself courage. Time flew by. For years passed without him realizing it. Once heavy and fat, he had now become skin and bones. No one knew how he survived those 4 years. He was living like a zombie. The only good thing, he had become an expert fisherman. Sometimes, he thought about escaping the island, but the merciless waves crushed his spirit. One day, while searching for food in the sea, he found a piece of metal. Excited by the new discovery, he planted it upright on the beach and sat with Wilson, staring at it. A new idea struck him. It was light, foldable, and unbreakable, perfect for a sail. He immediately started working. He joined his old skates with wood in an X shape. Under a large tree, he lit a fire to dry the wood quickly. Then, he began making ropes by cutting bushes, stripping their bark, and working tirelessly without food or water. He thought, if not now, then never. He cut down all the small trees in the jungle. He even used old videotapes to make more rope. Returning to the cave, he felt deeply sad. He knew sailing the sea was dangerous. Survival was uncertain. Just then, he imagined Wilson mocking his fear. In anger, he threw Wilson out of the cave. But immediately, he regretted it and went running to find him. In 4 years, Wilson had become his best friend. To fix his mistake, he cleaned and repaired Wilson's face. A few days later, he completed the raft. He packed the parcel with the angel wings, took Wilson, and on a windy day, set his raft into the sea. A journey toward a new life had begun. He was sailing, passing every wave. And whenever a big wave came,